Welcome to Poverty Proof, how the rich think differently and how you can train your brain for wealth. Here's a statement that is obvious but true. Where you aim your energies makes all the difference. If you focus on the right things, you're going to go further. If you focus on the wrong things, you're going to be less effective. Now let's get a little bit technical and talk about the power of storytelling to change that balance. Psychologists point out that many of the decisions we make tend not to be made logically, but rather emotionally. We start by doing the thing we want to do, and then after the fact, we manufacture a story and narrative to help justify it to ourselves. Change the story, and you can change your behavior. Let's take a simple example. Perhaps there's something that appeals to you as a purchase. It's that new pair of shoes that you want, the new phone, the new car, the new house. And you have been subtly constructing convincing stories about how that will look one day. Let's take the car as the example because that's the one that always appeals to me. You construct a story in which you picture yourself as being more important as a result of the purchase. People ooh and ah, and they tell you how elevated and important you have become. And we subconsciously build up this idea that that purchase changes our story, the course of our life, our outcomes. Generally speaking, we tend to be deluding ourselves. It is not the purchases that change our direction, it is the things we do and achieve that lead us toward our goals, our financial success. That's what we're actually after. So, what I would like you to do is to become a master tactician, and that entails interrupting the wrong stories and replacing them with superior ones. So let's say, for example, you are yearning for that new thing. And you know you shouldn't be using your money for that. You have bigger, bolder, long-term financial plans. For example, maybe you want to use your money to start a business, or perhaps you want to use your money to start a second business, or to move your family overseas, or give them more options, or whatever the case might be for you. When that story enters into your consciousness and you start telling yourself this series of visuals, this wonderful set of pictures about how the car would be, I would like you to interrupt that one and to tell yourself that is not who I am and it's not what I'm after right now. As a master wealth practitioner, my goal is this, and once I've done that, we'll revisit the other one. Then what I want you to do is to emotionalize the replacement story. This actually matters because, as we saw, the decisions that we tend to make are often emotion-based, and that is actually the strength of the thing. That's why we buy into them. So the replacement story must be just as emotional. If, for instance, you should really be using that money to start the new business, tell yourself a story about how wonderful that will be. Picture yourself owning it, leading it, guiding it, becoming prosperous as a result. If the goal is to move your family overseas, imagine what that would be like. Take a tour in your own mind. Make that story real and replace the detrimental story with the more positive one. So, your audit for today. Which damaging stories do you indulge in about what you want to buy or where you want to focus your energy or your money? What constitutes a better story? How can you tell yourself that story in emotionally compelling ways? Lead the emotions toward the right goals and the logic then follows. The justification follows and the activity follow. Change the story, you can change your outcomes.